Hey programmers, today we've got a couple of perfect topics for a series on grandMA3 for grandMA2 programmers, because one topic is pretty similar to the MA2, but the other one is completely new. We're talking views and appearances. We're going to start with views, which is going to be pretty similar, but with some added functionality on the 3. As always, I'm using the demo show file included with the grandMA3 software, and it includes a few views that are already created for you on your views bar. If you don't see your views bar, hit the arrow at the bottom of the screen to expand it. We can still store any collection of windows on a single or multiple screens, just like we did on the MA2. We can also drop macros and plugins onto any of these buttons. And again, like the MA2, our views are stored with our user profile. New for the MA3 is a small collection of predefined views that will show up in any new user profile to get you started. Let's make a simple view and store it. To start, let's clear off this screen, and we can do that a few ways. You can hit the MA button at the top left of any window and hit Delete Window. Alternatively, to clear off this whole screen, I'll hit Menu and under Display, delete this screen. Or if you have an empty place on screen, tap it and pick Delete Screen from the pop-up. If you're using the demo show, there's also this handy clear option on the view bar. Just like the MA2, if I touch an empty cell, I'll get a pop-up that allows me to pick a new window, like the Sequence Executor. And that new window will still fill to the right and down as far as it can go. I can then still grab the bottom right corner if I want to resize it, or grab it by the title and move it around. A new way to resize it is with a gesture that involves holding one finger on the title of the menu, then tapping in another part of the screen. You can also make a new window by drawing a lasso over some empty area to pick the space that you want to fill. The pop-up Add window has tabs that are organized slightly differently than the MA2 options, but the idea is the same. When you've got your view however you like, you can store it just like we did on the MA2 by pressing the Store key and then clicking on an empty view button, or you can just do a long press on a view button. The Store View options are just as we remember. We pick which monitors to save it to and give it a name. Just like the MA2, the different options that you set up on your windows will definitely be remembered in your views, but on the MA3, they add another level of configurability in the Windows preferences. Let's say we change something in the fixture sheet, like I want fixture sort on, and I also want this to show my programmer only. If I resave the view now, those options will certainly be remembered, but I can also save the selections to a separate preference using the Save button here at the top. You can also export these preferences. The idea is I could take these preferences and import them into another window. For example, let me open up the Groups pool. I'll go in the settings and turn off Show Empty, and maybe also change the font size. I could be changing any and all of these options and save them, but I'll just change these for now. I'll click Save and give it a new name, then click Save at the bottom. Now I can apply those preferences to any other pool, like maybe the sequence pool. I'll go into Settings, pick Load, and find my preference, load it, and now those settings are applied here as well. That was Views and Windows Preferences. Now we're on to a new topic called Appearances. We saw one example of appearances in a previous video where we were looking at display configurations for a screen. We were able to pick an appearance and use it as a background. There's a lot more to them, so let's go into the appearance pool where they live. In this show file, there's already a few appearances created. We know we could use them as a window background, but you can also use an appearance on sequences, presets, groups, view buttons, sheets, etc. For example, I can apply an appearance to the sequence by going into the Assign menu and on the left clicking the Appearance option and picking a pool option from here. This sequence now references this appearance. Because it's a reference, that means if I go back into the appearance pool and edit that appearance, it will update all objects that reference it, just like a preset. It also means if you delete the appearance from the pool, all objects using that appearance will lose the setting as well. Appearances aren't just for colors. Let's edit an empty pool tile to make a new appearance. This area in the bottom left is the preview window for our appearance. We could pick a solid color if that's all we needed, or we could import an image. You can import from the existing library of symbols or gobos, or you can import your own. I'm just going to pick this world symbol, and you can see that it's applied the image and also the color that I picked. We can also do a background color. Let's pick a color and then raise the alpha fader so that it isn't totally transparent. Cool. Back on the left, the image mode options will determine if your image gets black bars, or cropped, tiled, or stretched. What you pick depends on the size of your image and also how you plan to use your appearance. So now to use this somewhere. Some items can get an appearance assigned really easily, like the group objects. I'm going to swipey on this new appearance, pick Assign, and then touch this group here. If you want to remove the appearance from this group, then swipey here on the group and pick Edit Option. And from Appearance, set it to None. Other windows, like we saw with this sequence earlier, have an appearance option in their Assign windows or in the Window Settings options. You can also create and store screenshots on your desk that can be assigned to an appearance. For example, maybe you want a picture of your window layout to show up on the corresponding View button, a bit like what we had on the MA2. On your keyboard, hit the Print Screen key. You'll see a flash, and that screen is now saved on the console's hard drive. Now we'll go into the Image pool and edit a new cell and click Import. The screenshots are all date and time stamped. Then you just have to navigate down to where the screen you want is and select it. Now in the Appearance pool, I'll edit an empty cell and pick that image pool item. I'll probably also set this to crop. Next, I can assign this appearance with the screenshot of my window to the view. The Print Screen key is going to screenshot all of your screens, and it is going to include all of the menus around the side and the bottom of your windows. If you want to get fancier with it, then I'd recommend taking the screenshot on your computer and then crop out any menus that you don't want to see, then take that edited image and bring it into the image pool. If you want to do that, then you'll need to save the image in the right folder. On your thumb drive, go to grandMA3, then the shared folder, and inside Resource, find the folder lib_images. Then, just like before, edit a new object in the image pool, click Import, set your source as your thumb drive, and import your image. In the next video, we're going to take changing our console's interface a step further and talk about color themes. See you then.